This is the Deep End Broadcasting Network.
Into the corner tip and a backhand across. That one deflected wide. Konechny spills down with 6. Puck still loose. Nosek keeps it moving. The NHL's all-time win record now belongs to these Boston Bruins. They win their 63rd game of the season. 63, 12, and 5, and still 2 games on the schedule for the 22-23 Bruins.
Just remarkable.
"20 seconds remaining. The Golden Knights start to celebrate on their bench. The silver trophy to the Golden Knights. Ladies and gentlemen, the Stanley Cup!
What the puck is going on?
What the puck is going on for this Thursday, April the 4th, 2024. It is 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time from our Deep End Broadcasting Studios in Virginia Beach, Virginia, the United States of America. I am Stephen Murray, your host for tonight. Nephew Dave on assignment in the lovely Chesapeake, Virginia. So we'll take a look at the slate tonight for the NHL. Let's go ahead and reset the landscape of where we sit in the standings before we look at the card, as we've had a little bit of separation here as far as division goes, conference goes, top seeding, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. All right, so we'll queue up the standings, and we go to the Atlantic Division in the East first off, where Boston, with 2 wins in a row, 6-4 in their last 10 games. That has been good enough to gain ground on a Florida team that is completely struggling at this point. 2-7-1 overall for the Florida Panthers. They've lost 2 games now in a row as well during that stretch, and just having a rough time up there in Canada. In fact, we're almost really a threat to lose the second spot. Toronto just 4 games back, or 4 points back. They've been 5-4-1. Only if they could have been a little bit better, they'd be just a hair closer, but still within striking distance. They have 7 games left to play. The Bruins and Florida Panthers both have 6 points or 6 games left to play to capture points. And there they sit. Tampa Bay is going to be the one comfortable team for the most part in that division. But I guess if Toronto could falter and Tampa Bay does win at Toronto last night, then they could actually jump into a 3 seed themselves. How about the Lightning? 8-1-1 in their last 10. They've been red hot and slowly climbing closer to the top of the pack there. 19-6-3 on the road for Tampa Bay. In the Metro, separation there now with the Rangers and Carolina. Rangers 8-2-0 in their last 10 games. Carolina 8-1-1, but still that's good enough for the Rangers to have a 5-point lead in the Metro. Philadelphia sits in third place with 83 points. And there are the Capitals and the Islanders. And as bad as if you think the Capitals have been playing, Philadelphia is struggling mightily as well. And the Caps have some extra games to play. So maybe they can still jump up. Big game tonight with Pittsburgh. But maybe they can still jump up in the standings and capture that third and stay out of the wild card. Philly has lost 5 in a row. The Capitals have lost 3 in a row. Although they've been hot before that, this is starting to hit the skid here. They need to get the ship corrected. Islanders 4-5-1 in their last 10, still in it with 81 points. And then there's Pittsburgh, who played the Capitals tonight. They've won 2 in a row, 5-3-2 overall in their last 10. New Jersey still with a lifeline, 76 points for them. But the 3 losses in a row do not help. We will look at this in terms of the conference standings, and then we'll go ahead and hit the West. Right now, the Capitals would have your number 8 seed with 82 points. Philadelphia has it's weird how they do this by division. They really should just group these guys by reseeding with the points, but they don't. The top 3 are deserving of a playoff spot, and the other 2 are a wild card. So that would leave Tampa Bay as a wild card with more points than Philadelphia, and that puts Philadelphia in the 6th spot. But the Capitals are a threat to that 6th spot to Philadelphia, as are Detroit with 82 points, virtually tied with Washington, but Washington with the extra game in hand, so they'll get an extra opportunity to gain points. The Islanders have 81 points total, so they trail by 1. Pittsburgh with 79. I mean, that'd be a huge win tonight if Pittsburgh can get this win. I mean, this is the game of the season for them. And Buffalo sitting right there. They helped their cause the other night with a win as well, 77. So they're 5 points back with 6 to play for them. And 6 points back are the Devils with 6 games to play for them. The teams that are hot in that pack, well, everyone's really about mediocre. Really, still the Capitals are the hottest team of that crew, but they have lost 3 in a row. Now, the teams below Detroit, Islanders, Pittsburgh, Buffalo have all won in their recent games. So that kind of tightens the grip a little bit as far as the standings go. So it's the Capitals really to lose at this point. They have that extra game in hand. They need to keep winning. They can do themselves a huge service if they can dispatch of the Penguins tonight at home in the DC. All right, in the Western Conference, we'll take a look at that. Dallas gets a little separation there at the top. They have, let's look at the division part first, as there's going to be some separation there, I believe. Yes, over Colorado, separation in the Central. Dallas and the Colorado, who are locked up with Winnipeg for the most part of the season up there at the top. Dallas now with a 5-point lead over the second place Avalanche. Winnipeg has 96 points, trailing Colorado by 4 points. Colorado with 100, Winnipeg 96. Nashville has 90. St. Louis, the Blues have 84. In the Pacific Division, Vancouver 102 points, 6 games left for them. They'll about lock up that division here pretty soon. They've already clinched a playoff spot. Have the Dallas and Colorado, they have clinched their playoff spot as well. Back to the East, the playoff clinchers are Boston, Florida, the Rangers, and Carolina. Everything else yet to be decided. Vancouver, big lead now over Edmonton. They get a win last night over Arizona, and Edmonton the shutout at Dallas. So that makes it a 7-point lead now at the top of the Pacific, where Edmonton was creeping closer. They've fallen back now. Vegas has 92 points, playing much better of late. Winners of 3 in a row, 7-2-1 are Vegas. The Kings now with 89 points. They win their last time out. Seattle not going to have it with 75. And the conference standings with that, let's see, towards the bottom now. Well, Dallas has a 3-point lead over Vancouver, who's the second place team. Then Colorado 3rd, Winnipeg 4th right now. Edmonton would be your 5th. Vegas would be your 6th with 92 points. They trail Edmonton by 3 points, trail Winnipeg by 4 points. Vegas 2 points ahead of Nashville and 3 points ahead of the Kings. And the Kings would be your 8th spot right now. St. Louis trails the Kings by 5 points. Minnesota, they trail Minnesota, who likes to pull their goalie in overtime to try to get extra points for the win. It's interesting tactic, not seeming to work for them. But Minnesota trails Los Angeles now by 8 points, and they have 8 games left to play. So this is Nephew Dave actually calling on my cell phone. Hey, man, I'm recording. Do you want to call the main line or text some picks? We'll try it out. All right, let me get back to the show. Try it out. All right, bye. Okay. And then let's see. So we left, I think Nephew Dave's going to chime in here. It's a little live producer stuff on the air for you. So Seattle is really the only team left in that bunch. They still have time to catch up. I mean, they have 7 games, only trail 5 points. Crazier things have happened. In fact, Minnesota still has a chance as well. Even Seattle, if they were to win out and the Kings to lose out, will somehow, I think, still make the playoffs. Calgary not eliminated either officially yet. But you figure, for the most part, Minnesota, Seattle, and Calgary are done. Okay, let's take a look at the slate. So keep all that in mind. Nephew Dave?
I'm Steve.
All right, that doesn't sound too bad. All right, so here's what we got, Dave. I went through the standings. I'm going to go ahead and hit the slate. This is game number 1, so you're calling it the right perfect time. And we have the Bruins and the Hurricanes, 2 top dogs here in the East. Bruins now have a little bit of a stranglehold on their division. Carolina is now sitting more comfortably in second place as they've fallen off a little bit behind the Rangers. But the Hurricanes are our favorite here, minus 156, over under 5.5. What are you going to look at in this game?
Steve, I'm going to look at 2 teams that, besides the President's Trophy, I don't think that, there's really too much to play for. I mean, there's still a couple games left. Where Carolina's at in the standings, I think their seed and the Rangers seed is locked up, and I think these 2 teams play an under tonight.
All right, so they'll keep it close to the vest. Yeah, I'm not going to have any sort of play on this. I think both of these teams know that their better days are ahead in the playoffs. So, I don't know what kind of strategy they'll play in. Obviously, you want to play hard. It's hard to rest the guys in hockey. It's not like it's basketball. You got to keep the lines rotating. But I expect a good game and maybe even a physical game. These guys are going to let each other know that they're going to be around in the playoffs a little bit. So I do like your angle with the under 5.5, to be honest. But I'll stay off it.
Yeah, I think it's got a 3-2 kind of feel written all over it. Like you said, a little bit of physicality. 2 teams that, you never know, may see each other in the playoffs. And, you bring up the point of resting. And I don't think anybody's going to do that until there's, just 1 or 2 games left where everything is locked up and they can kind of afford to sit people. That's usually, typically when you see that.
All right, a 7:10 Eastern Standard Time game in Columbus. This is a game I would take the Islanders on, Dave, on the straight. If I'm going to do a bunch of teams just to win tonight, I'm going to throw the Islanders in that pack. Now, they haven't done great here recently. They are slumping in those amongst those group of teams fighting for the last wild card spot there in the East. But it's more a fate of Columbus at this point. I just think you're going to get a much better effort from the Islanders overall. And I'm not so sure what kind of product Columbus is going to bring to the ice tonight. So I'm going to lean the Islanders on the money line here.
Yeah, that's probably the smarter play, Steve. Now, Columbus did take it to Colorado the other night. They could look to play spoiler, 2 teams in the same division. So that's something to keep in mind. But, knowing what the Islanders have to do to keep in the race, and they are right there in the mix, figure to get a pretty good effort out of them. And I think you can take the money line, maybe even the 60-minute line, if you feel comfortable with what the Islanders need to do this evening.
It sounds like you're riding a surfboard, Dave, is what it sounds like on the air.
How's that?
Yeah, much better. Let's see here. Yeah, and I don't like Columbus, Dave, at the end of the day. In fact, let me get their splits real quick just so I can clarify their stinctitude. Well, 3-5-2 in their last 10, and they have won a couple in a row here. Obviously better at home than they would be on the road. But again, at the end of the day, they're a minus 56 on the goal differential. They give up a ton of goals. It's not like the Islanders score a lot. But, you might actually get an over here too, man. That might not be the worst play in the world, honestly. Islanders,
it could be a sneaky overplay.
Yeah. So I'll lean Islanders on the straight money line here. We'll go Tampa with a nice win last night in Toronto, minus 152 favorites over the Canadiens, who have been very pesky, especially to the Florida foes of Tampa Bay, the Florida Panthers, and other better teams like the Avalanche as of late. 6.5 the total here. Do you like the Lightning here back-to-back?
I think I do. I would take the money line, and I think I would play an under. Just typically your back-to-backs, you're going to see an under. So I think that maybe you could even combine the two in a game parlay, which some of the books offer. They'll give you a Tampa Bay money line and an under, and you're sure to get a plus number out of that.
Yeah, plus 2-1 is what I see right now for that.
Yeah, so if you want to hunt out a plus number, that's something to look at. But if you just want to kind of keep it simple, let's go Tampa Bay on the money line. As you never know, you could see some overtime with the Tampa Bay Lightning maybe being a little tired from that nice win last night.
All right, how about I'm going to take that as a no play for me, to be honest. I don't even think I want to play this next game with Florida and Ottawa. Florida minus 164 on the road, over under 6.5 here. Now the splits for Ottawa, in case you're wondering, as they are 6-4 in their last 10. They did lose their last time out, so it's not like they've completely thrown in the towel here, unlike some of the other teams in the West have. Speaking about Anaheim and San Jose, but let's see. With Ottawa, I don't know. I don't like to bet their games or play them at all. Florida has been a good team to me. I've kind of jumped off at the right time just to see how this team would progress towards the playoffs. And they've been ugly. They have not played very well at all. And they have clinched their playoff spot. So they might just kind of nurse their way into the postseason here. So I'll lay off of this, Florida and Ottawa. Do you have an opinion?
I think you could see an over here. Like you said, Ottawa is pesky. They might try and bring some kind of effort tonight. And we know that even with the Panthers reeling a little bit, both of those teams are capable of scoring goals. So it's probably a pass, but I think there is a possibility to see an over this evening.
All right. Our Capitals host the Penguins, and what probably I would describe to be one of the biggest games that these two have had against each other since one of the series in which the Penguins have probably eliminated the Capitals, to be honest, which has been several series that has happened. The Penguins, they can really do themselves a lot of good favors here for them and the rest of the pack there at the bottom of the East to try to get that last playoff spot if they can get a win in Washington tonight. I expect a good game. Honestly, 5.5 might be too low. These teams are going to be amped up. We actually might see a few goals. I expect a little bit more of an offensive output on both ends, knowing that they must take some rest. They need to get this game won. The team who's going to sit back and try to soak things in might be the team who gets blasted in the face. So what would look like normally an under game, I would kind of lean a little bit over here. I don't think 5.5 goals is too much at the end of the day. In fact, I wouldn't be shocked if this game goes to overtime with both these teams tied at 3. So what do you got here, Dave?
Yeah, Steve, that's definitely a possibility. Overtime, you're always going to get a nice number with that. Two teams that really have to have it. Washington coming off a terrible loss the other night to the Buffalo Sabres. You got to think, knowing where they are, that the effort is going to have to be better tonight. So maybe, again, try some team goals. But if you're getting a 5.5 with these two, this game is going to go one of two ways. It's going to fly over, and we're going to see about 8 goals, or it's going to be 2-1, 3-2, and it's going to miss. But I think I would be more inclined to take the over, like you said, Steve, 5.5 between these two clubs. They have to have it, and we should see a good game there in D.C. tonight.
And Pittsburgh's been generally an under team for the most part this season. But I think they lay it all out on the line tonight. In fact, if you have down even a couple of goals here, you could see a goalie get pulled. Even 3-1 is in play to go over towards the end of the game here. Let's see. The Nashville Predators can do themselves a good job here if they can kind of have this little mock playoff performance and put on a show here tonight against St. Louis, where the Blues, they are trying to make the playoffs themselves, but they have a very big uphill battle to climb. Basically, on top of that hill will be the Predators tonight, and they're going to try to kick them down it, kind of like King of the Mountain style, kick the Blues back down to earth and send them packing here for the season. Now, St. Louis won't be necessarily fully eliminated if they lose tonight, but they're going to be trailing the pack with time running out of the hourglass very, very fast. So I think that's the way Nashville approaches this game, is that it is a playoff type of game. We need it ourselves. This team is a playoff type of caliber. Let's go out there and show that we can get a good win tonight, and I think they'll handle their business at home. So I would lean with Nashville on a straight-up money line, and I would throw that in with the Islanders right now as well. And right now, those two teams are paying plus 129 to win straight up, if you take that. So give me some Predators, Dave. What do you got?
Yeah, big game out west, Steve, for both teams, really. More so for St. Louis, as you mentioned. Something tells me that this game is going under, and I think that's where I would look tonight.
All right. The next game on the board are the Minnesota Wild, and they may pull their goalie in overtime again. You never know, but they're definitely, if it's not in overtime, they're definitely bound to pull him with several minutes left in the game if they're trailing the Avalanche. I think Colorado's a cheap number here on the road, minus 164. Over under is 6.5. Give me the Avalanche here, Dave. I'll throw them in with the Predators, and I will throw them in with the Islanders on my play. Is this a game Minnesota can win at home? Yes, but again, the sands of the hourglass are dwindling away fast for the Wild, and a good win again. Colorado, if they have the same mindset as Nashville, let's just go ahead and take these guys out. So give me Colorado.
Yeah, Steve, I'm gonna side with you on that one. In my eyes, Minnesota just hasn't been very trustworthy this season. Little bit of an off year for them. I thought myself that they were going to be a little higher than they are in the standing, but that is not the case, and they have a huge mountain to climb playing the Avalanche tonight. I think it might just be too much for them. So I will go ahead and side with you. Give me the Avs.
All right, now I'll make this easy. Since the audio is just it's going to hair choppy again, but you'll lean with the Jets and the Kings tonight over their opponents, right? Jets are home against the Flames. Kings on the road against the Sharks.
Yeah, Kings did play last night too. Keep that in mind.
Right. It's not going to matter. San Jose's quit, I think.
Well, yeah, against San Jose, yeah, it's not going to matter. Yeah, give me the Kings in that one.
What's your best player too for tonight?
Well, I really like. I think the Caps 2.5 is a good play. Your Islanders play is very nice, and give me Colorado on the 60-minute line tonight as well.
All right, so Dave will take the Avalanche on the 60-minute line, the Caps over 2.5 goals, and you'll take the Islanders. Is that the other one?
Yeah, I'll go ahead and climb on that train with you.
Okay, straight on money line or the 60-minute?
You know what? I'll go a little bit further with that. Give me the 60 for the Islanders.
All right, 10-4. All right, I agree with you on all that. All right, Dave, I'll let you go. We'll catch up. All right?
All right, sounds good.
All right, nephew Dave chiming in. Sounds like he is definitely surfing in an airplane or something like that. So hopefully you were able to bear with that audio. Let's see here. So to recap his bets, he's going to take the Capitals over 2.5 team goals. He's going to take the Avalanche on the 60-minute line, and he'll go ahead and take the Islanders on the 60-minute line as well. I'll keep it simple. Just give me the Islanders. Give me the Predators. Give me the Avalanche. Go ahead and give me Winnipeg as well. I'll take those 4 together. They all pay plus 437 on the payout straight up. I do like the Capitals over 2.5 goals too, though. So do I want to throw them in there? Let's see here. Do I get 2.5? Yeah, I do. Over 2.5 is minus 168. So we'll figure that happens at home. Yep, there we go. Plus 757, our home area code. I'll take that. Your $10 bet wins you $75.79. Okay, let's take a real quick look at the futures, and we'll get on out of here for tonight. Let's see where we stand right now with the division odds, if there's anything attractive. Carolina plus 420. They still have time to catch up. Rangers are minus 650. The Bruins are minus 420. Panthers plus 310. Maple Leafs 55-1. You still get a number on them. Dallas minus 1050. Avalanche plus 600. So that's a good payout on the Avalanche. The best you've seen all year. Still time for them to win that division. It's not like they're trailing by 1,000,000 points. And Winnipeg is at 90-1 odds to win the Central. Vancouver minus $8 to win the Pacific. Edmonton plus 490. The Golden Knights still have a chance. 250-1 odds. And the Capitals are actually the favorite now to finish as the third in the Metro, plus 160. The Flyers are at plus 170. The Islanders are at plus 550. If you like the Penguins, you're getting 16-1 for them to catch Philadelphia. This is not to get in the wild card. This is to make the actual playoff. Let's see. Yeah, right. Rangers. Oh, they have a switch around with Carolina. Okay, a little confused with the Pittsburgh Penguins. They're paying 85-1 in another spot, but that happens to be if Carolina wins that division, which, they could. I mean, Carolina, Rangers, Penguins, 85-1 if you think it's going to finish in that order. Okay, we'll get on out for the week. We have a slate of games next Friday. Let's see. We have a good slate of games. Let's go ahead and look at that real quick. And then that'll give me 5 minutes to do a little post-production. Okay, games upcoming this weekend. Let's see. Friday, we'll have a 6-pack of games. The highlight there will be Colorado and Edmonton. Washington will be at Carolina in a key game. Rangers and Detroit, Philly and Buffalo is a key game. So a lot matters tomorrow. Saturday, there's games all day. Stagger starts. Tampa at Pittsburgh, Florida and Boston. Let's see. Other notable good games. Most everyone's in action, but what are the 2 games head-to-head that will matter? Let's see. Islanders in Nashville. For the lot, we got a lot of Toronto, Montreal, New Jersey, Ottawa, St. Louis, San Jose, those type of things. Full slate Sunday. Buffalo, Detroit's a huge game early. Let's see. Washington will play Ottawa. Nashville, New Jersey. Dallas, Colorado is a late game Sunday night, 10 o'clock. All right, so there you go. There's your late action of the weekend if you need to play some catch-up. Monday, just a couple of games. Pittsburgh at Toronto, Vegas at Vancouver, and then we'll have a full slate for Tuesday. Mini slate Wednesday, full slate next Thursday. All right, this is What the Puck is Going On. I am Stephen Murray. Go to our Deep End 757 broadcasting page on YouTube and click for replay if you missed any of the show.